On dent pulling part 9, I believe. Made so many videos, it's kind of hard to keep up. I'm trying to do this in sections and kind of showing y'all step by step basically on, basically before and after. When I mentioned in my last video on the 2-in-1 primer, don't use it. It's okay to use it to pop up some of the blemishes and stuff that you missed or didn't get sanded down too good. Okay, but I won't use that as an actual primer base before applying a base coat. And I think one reason why it started peeling up on me, I used that purple power degreaser, and I'm sure it probably left a little bit of residue, plus not scuffing up the metal and all that stuff too good, and that could be another reason why it also peeled up. So I went back, I sanded all of that back down. I used an 80 grit sandpaper to scuff up everything really good, the whole panel. I did wet sand it. I wiped it down really good. I degreased it with lacquer thinner. And I know a lot of people are like, well, lacquer thinner is going to eat paint, which yes, it can. But if you're not going to let it set on there and just going to wipe the panel down and then re-dry it really good, you ain't going to have no issues unless it just spills on your paint or something and taking so long to get to it. Because it did happen to me down there, and I actually wet sanded that back out. But anyway, get some self-etching primer. It is actually a high build primer. It actually works a lot better. It will stick and adhere to the metal and to your other paint that's on the panel. It'll adhere to it a lot better after you sand it down with 80 grit and degrease it and all that other stuff. But anyway, on the base coat, I laid my base coat down. I just got through wet sand it yesterday, 1000 grit, about 3-4 times just to make sure everything's smooth on it. Today I got to go down and I'm going to get 3 more cans of base coat. I need to try to get some mineral spirits so that way I can actually degrease this in between coats. Do not want no dirt, no contaminants or anything when you get ready to start doing this final stage. Because when you got contaminants and dirt particles and everything else on your paint and you go ahead and start painting, it's going to look like crap. And you'll end up start having some chips or something in your paint. So when you get ready to sand, it's going to knock those chips out, and then you've got to go back and resand and redo it. So try to do it right the first time, even though rattle can is not really the right way of doing stuff. It's just a cheaper way of doing stuff when you ain't got the money to buy a quart of paint for a spray gun. It's about I think $150 to $200 for just quarting on the paint. So I don't have that, so I'm doing it the cheap way. So either way, it's still going to turn out like it should. Wet sand, 1000 grit in between your base coats, and like I said, 1 can equals to basically 1 coat of paint. So you wet sand 1,000. Scratch that. You wet sand 1000 grit in between your coats. When you go to wet sand, and after you wet sand, use mineral spirits or some type of degreaser that's not going to hurt the paint. So that way, like I said, it gets all the contaminants out. After you get through with all your base coat procedures of the 1000 grit, then you can come back with your clear coat and then wet sand your clear coat to 1500 to 2000 grit. I'll use probably about 4 cans of clear on this after I'm done. And then on that final stage, I'll wet sand it to about a 2000 grit, and then I should be able to polish it out. So this is where it's come down to now. Like I said, 1 coat of paint, basically 1 can of paint, I should say. You can tell, see that. It didn't get good coverage. Even though I sprayed up here, it still didn't get good coverage. It is smooth. It does look rough, but it is smooth. So all this stuff won't be here when I get ready to lay my other 3 cans on this. But it's looking good. It's looking a lot better. I'm just kind of really pleased on how this panel actually came out. But anyway, that's it. I'll post another video after I get through with my base coat and start in on the primer. And also, I'm just going to also mention too, I would show y'all basically hands-on through this to kind of get y'all a little bit better idea for those some that don't understand completely. But it's kind of hard to hold a camera and wet sand and all that stuff all at the same time. So I'm just kind of having to basically do a little bit and then get on here and explain to you exactly what I'm doing and explain how I'm doing it. So it's kind of just basically a step by step. You don't have to, like I said, you don't have to do it my way. You got a better way of doing it, do it that way. But this is kind of my way of doing it, of just basically teaching myself and getting a little bit more experience on it. Like I said, I mean, I've done body work before. I've done it since I was in high school, and everything else just basically trial and error and self-teach. So that's what I'm kind of just showing y'all right now. So I mean, this ain't nothing professional. It's just something to kind of get by with, and when I get ready to sell it, you know, hopefully nothing's really noticeable. So I mean, only me is going to notice the blemishes, and only me is going to notice the, you know, just the flaws and stuff, unless somebody's just really down out, you know, nitpicking and trying to just find stuff to bitch about. So it is what it is, and hopefully I can get to that fender eventually when I get that done. And the fender won't be too bad, because all I got to do is take the fender off, lay it up there, take that board off, lay it up there on that body stand there, and sand this fender down and fix that. So that will be easy, a lot easier than that. So just letting y'all know. If y'all kind of get down here like that, still pretty, there we go. That's a little bit, but it's not dented in at all. So I mean, it is a little bit, but it ain't. Like I said, it's a heck of a lot better than what it was. So I'm just kind of, like I said, I'm just kind of running through some things, you know, letting y'all understand. So that's it. Y'all have a wonderful day. Bye.